now to Anna Vallier-White, who is the founder of Sister Supporter, which is a pro-choice group which started the petition for the order to move protesters on. Clare McCullough is here, founding trustee of the Good Counsel Network, which hold daily vigils outside the clinic. The Good Counsel Network is an organisation affiliated to the US anti-abortion movement. And we can also talk to Labour Councillor Binda Rai, who represents the ward where the abortion clinic is located in Ealing. Welcome, all of you. Clare McCullough, as I understand it, you regularly visit the clinic to speak to women going in. Why do you feel that's important?
I occasionally attend that clinic. Can I just say, the Good Counsel Network is not affiliated to the American pro-life movement, so that's news to me for a start. I think it's very important because every year hundreds of women approach us who've been offered a leaflet on the doorsteps of a clinic. Women who are illegal immigrants and have no access to benefits or help services in the country. We see many women who are fleeing domestic violence, women who are under pressure from other people. So long as those women continue to claim the help that we offer at the gate of an abortion centre and tell us repeatedly that Mary Stopes and the other abortion providers have no such similar help to offer them, we will continue to have a presence there.
What's the problem with that, Anna?
Firstly, I'd like to say that what the people Clare is talking about is a very, very small minority. In the 2 years we've been counter-demonstrating there, we've never seen one positive interaction between a service user and a pavement counsellor.
And how would you do, what's the definition of a positive interaction?
A smile and an engagement in conversation, perhaps. Not tears, please leave me alone, walking off and being followed. That's what I would describe as the negative interactions that we have seen. I also think the issue of undocumented people who have no access to benefits is a separate issue, and the Good Counsel Network are not campaigning for better health services for those undocumented women. And I think 95% of women don't regret their abortion. They know the choice they're about to make, but the presence there is trying to guilt trip them or put fear into them by the information that they're given.
We're not trying to put fear into anyone. I did ask 100 times yesterday if I could bring on some of the women who had been helped by the organisation, and I was refused that help. I was told these women are not relevant to the debate.
No, and that's my understanding is what you said to us, it was, if you don't interview this person that I'm suggesting to you, then I'm going to shame you on social media.
No, I said nothing of the sort. I said we have 10 women available to speak to you. Any one of them would be willing to speak, but I said if you refuse to speak to them, we will make it known to social media that these women's voices weren't to be included in the debate, because every journalist we asked to speak to these women says the same thing. Now, Anna is virtually saying the same thing. We're not a campaigning organisation, but we provide healthcare for women who don't get it through the state. We are fighting all the time for individuals who are not getting healthcare, housing.
Professionals who should be providing that healthcare. But you claim you're pavement counsellors and you have medical information in your leaflet that says a possible psychological complication is alcohol and drug abuse eating disorders. Is there any evidence to back that up? Because you're giving this information out to people who are using the clinic,
yes,
and then offering them help, but that is misleading information.
There's lots of information to back that up. You can go to our website and see information to back up everything
the website,
that we
the information on the website is likely to be biased.
To interrupt. Your medical expertise, your qualifications?
My medical expertise is nothing. I've never claimed to have any medical expertise, and neither do any of our people on the street claim to have medical expertise. I'd like to know why the voices of 100 women and more that we've helped outside the Ealing abortory who weren't getting help inside are not valid to this debate.
You're talking about, so 23 years you've been there, and you're saying 100 women. In 6 months that we've been gathering evidence, we've had hundreds in the multiple of women writing to us with their testimony saying the only thing that was upsetting or traumatising about that day was a stranger placed at the gate. So they had no choice but to walk past them, calling them mum, asking them if the father knew they were killing the baby that day. That was the only thing that was upsetting them about that day. And this is hundreds in 6 months.
I respond to that is not what our counsellors do. Our counsellors do not go around asking them about their the father of the baby and so on.
Then read out the clinic log.
I'm speaking at the moment. I think it's your turn next. It's easy to make many unsubstantiated accusations. Yesterday, Mary Stopes in Ealing were saying that pro-life groups are live Facebook streaming women going into abortion clinics on Facebook. This is not happening. It's never happened in this country. No pro-life group in this country is doing this. Nobody has to produce the evidence. It's just said, like so many other things.
Do you have evidence?
I do have evidence, yes. We have a log from Mary Stopes' clinic of what women have told them has happened when they've gone in. They've been shouted at, don't do it, while they've been waiting at the door. They've been grabbed on arm, to stop them from entering, saying, "You're not allowed in." A woman was crying after being called a murderer after entering. A teenage girl was also told she'd be haunted by her baby if she had the procedure. We also have an image of about 5 people standing right by the gate with signs saying abortion, 1 dead, 1 wounded, give your baby a present, a birthday. This is not impartial practical advice. This is harassment, because the definition of harassment is intention to cause distress. I don't see how the placement, the language, the images are anything else other than to cause distress to these women, because your group doesn't agree with abortion, and that's actually what this is about, trying to remove the option of a termination from these women.
Our group do not stand outside the clinic doing any of those things. As you well know, there
I
are
have
five
photographic evidence and videographic
There are
evidence.
5 different groups that witness outside Ealing. And what's more, Mary Stopes have 2 video cameras focused on the door all the time at the entrance to the clinic. You know, where is the evidence of this? You saying, I say this and the clinic says that is not evidence.
So the clinic have made up what these women have said?
We're there every day. Anyone can take evidence of what we're doing. You know,
And we have. That's why we have these images and these videos.
Have never made contact with our organisation or any of the other organisations who attend the clinic. No, you've never made any kind of outreach to say, why are you doing this? You know,
But the
I've
Ealing
been
Council
there
have
myself.
reached out to you?
Ealing Council have spoken to us
Yes.
once,
Okay,
but Binda hasn't.
let's bring in Labour Councillor Binda Rai, who represents the ward where the clinic is located. Can we just talk about this protection order? What have residents, first of all, been saying to you about what is happening outside the clinic, and have you witnessed anything yourself?
Well, I'm pleased that you're asking me about the residents, because I have had lots and lots of letters and emails from residents who are absolutely concerned about what is going on in their doorstep.
What do they say is going on?
They say they feel harassed, they feel intimidated, they don't
By
the protesters. They do not want to see that on their doorstep. And many of them are families. There's a park nearby. Many children use the park. They have to walk past the graphic images that are displayed, and parents then have to talk to their children about abortion. Now, every parent has the right to discuss that subject with their child as and when they think it's appropriate, not when they're forced to. So it is blighting their lives every single day, and not only is it affecting the residents, but I have also been to the Mary Stopes clinic. I have spoken to the staff there. They are finding it very difficult to get in and out of the clinic to do what is a job for them.
Because why are they finding it difficult to get in and out?
Because they find it distressing, and when the prayers and the hymns are being sung outside, they can hear it inside.
What
and
about
the women,
freedom of speech?
Nobody is stopping them from exercising their right of freedom of speech. But I think the question is, it shouldn't be happening directly outside the clinic.
But where, I mean, from the Good Council's point of view, that's absolutely the place where prayers and hymns should be being sung.
But then I disagree, because I think you can take that discussion elsewhere. I think what's happening outside the clinic is the women are being harassed. And when I use the word harassed, I'm not talking about the legal definition, but they're harassed every single day when they're walking up and down. My residents shouldn't have to choose a different route to get into their homes.
Okay,
they shouldn't have to choose a different route to get to the park.
You're going to be debating this with fellow councillors this evening, that whether to bring in, for the first time, if you do bring it in, for outside an abortion clinic, this public space protection order. What would that, if it was brought in, if the vote goes yes, then what does that mean in practical terms?
Well, tonight we're actually debating a motion which will be looking at the possibility of taking some action. Now, to take out such an order is not an easy task. We have to consult with all the stakeholders. That's the residents in the borough, people at the clinic, the protesters, and we have been talking to them already, and we have to liaise with the police on that. So it's a long process,
Okay.
and we have to make sure that we actually do that properly.
All right. Well,
So
thank you.
tonight is a commitment to doing something about the situation in Mattock Lane, which is untenable for the future.
Women
Thank you.
who
I'm
change
gonna
their
pause you
mind
there.
also need to be liaised with.